Hello everybody, Film Fan 108 here, and today I went and watched Star Trek Beyond, the new Star Trek film that got released today in the movie theaters, and this is the third film in the Star Trek rebooted universe, and this film takes place about 3 years into their 5-year journey, and everything is running pretty smoothly. Everything's pretty routine, and Kirk is feeling a little bored. He's feeling a little bored, and he's just wondering what the purpose of all of this really is. And eventually they end up getting sent on this mission because of people are in distress and they need to go there and rescue some people, and they encounter some bad guys and all hell breaks loose. I really loved the Star Trek reboot. I thought it was really well done. I thought that, to sort of do a reboot and yet still respect the original series was great. I thought J.J. Abrams did an amazing job with the movie. I thought that he paid respect to the original series and yet it still felt fresh. These new spins on old characters, it felt fresh. Then, a couple years later, we got Into Darkness, and I hated Into Darkness. Hated it. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't like Khan. It felt like it felt like they were forcing it. The script wasn't there. I didn't feel like the actors were that engaging. I didn't feel that Benedict Cumberbatch, who played Khan, didn't do that great of a job. So I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. And the real question first off the bat, does this film, does it redeem the franchise? Does it redeem what I felt was wrong with Into Darkness? Yes, it does. It actually does. When the start of the film, I feel like the actors get better as the film goes on, and it actually does a really good job with these characters as time goes on. I feel everybody gets pretty much their due in the film. Some people like Uhura and a couple other people don't really get the screen time, but when you've got a huge ensemble like this, somebody is going to get the short shaft. And unfortunately, I think in this film it probably had to be Uhura. It probably had to be, at least I think so. Like I said, I thought the acting was really good. I thought Idris Elba, who played the bad guy, I thought he did a really great job acting-wise. The only problem with the villain in this film is that I don't think they explained enough about the villain. There's a really great explanation about him at the end, but they didn't do enough with the villain to really make you invest in the character as much as you might have wanted to. And that's a real shame, because some of the best villains in Star Trek are ones that you can really get involved in, ones that you can really feel invested in. This wasn't that, unfortunately. The special effects are really good. They're solid. Overall, the story is fine. In fact, if you didn't like Into Darkness, you can easily just go from the Star Trek reboot to Star Trek Beyond and just cut out Star Trek Into Darkness. You could just easily do it, and I don't think you'd be missing anything. It would be fine. Um, as far as Justin Lin is concerned about the directing, I like Justin Lin. I liked all of his Fast and the Furious movies. I feel like he really knows how to carry on a franchise and really knows how to respect the property. And he did so here. The directing was fine. The editing was fine. He didn't do anything that you felt like it was a issue or a problem. He didn't do that. So he was a fine director. He did a fine job. You know, could I see him coming back for a fourth film? Yeah, I could. I could see him coming back for a fourth film and him actually, taking the reins a little bit more. I don't think he was able to do everything he wanted to do in this third one. I think in some cases you can even look at the film and say they were probably playing it a little safe. If he were to been given the opportunity to go ahead and do another one, I think he could really take it into a really fun place. They're already thinking about doing a fourth one. There's already reports out there about them basically wanting to do one with Kirk's father and time travel and wanting to really delve into it with them and the connection. I can see it. They set it up in this film. They said about Kirk's father and the responsibilities that Kirk has, that he feels to his father. It's there. It's set up for what's coming, I feel. Overall, the film is very good. And the film, I think most what people are saying is it feels a lot like an original series episode. It feels just very episodic. That's not a knock against it. It still has those grand moments. The action, I think, when we do get it, is very good. I think the one problem that I had with the film, among maybe a couple minor ones, is that really the film felt kind of like it was dragging towards the end. Like you had already sort of felt like you wanted to get to the conclusion before the film did. And that was the only problem. It just didn't feel... It felt like it could have cut certain things out and maybe would have gotten to it a little bit more. Streamlined things a little bit better. Other than that, I think the movie's fine. I think Star Trek fans are going to love it. I think non-Star Trek fans, are going to go in and have a good, decent time. Going forward, I'm very interested to see how they deal with the death of Anton Yelchin, how they're going to deal with Chekhov, how they're going to deal with Spock, Kirk, and Bones. Because in this film, it really felt like that unit is very much becoming a unit. Like, it wasn't that in the first film, and it really wasn't that in the second film. This film kind of feels like they're a unit now. They're a trio. You kind of feel it, like almost them doing it again in the original series. They kind of feel that way now. I'm interested to see where they go with it. I don't know how many more films they really have left in the tank. A lot of these actors are busy doing their own thing. I don't know how much. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe they have 2 films left in them. Until it kind of feels like going off and doing something else. But it's good. It redeems the franchise, and you're gonna have a good time with it. I didn't want to get into spoilers. I didn't want to spoil it. It just came out today, so it's worth the money to go and see it. I would pick this movie over Ghostbusters any day of the week. You know, I don't want to get into Ghostbusters. I may do a separate review on that, but you know, if you had to pick between a few things, I would go with Star Trek. You know, it's a fun cast. There's funny moments here. You're gonna enjoy it. You are. So this video has been going on a little long enough, and you know, and by all means, comment below. You know, let me know how the video is, and also let me know actually, you know, how many films you think are left in this franchise. How long do you think this cast can continue to be these Star Trek characters? You know, they've been other characters. They've ended up being in other franchises. You know, you can't say the same for the original crew when they were doing that stuff. So, you know, and contracts nowadays get very expensive. So, you know, how long can they keep this up? Comment down below. And this is me signing off. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.